Hey guys, so I recently revisited Flip-A-Clip after years of not using the app, and I discovered they changed the paywall features from one-time purchases to subscription service, which I was very annoyed with, especially since they removed my no ads feature I bought back when Flip-A-Clip Premium was a thing. Either way, when revisiting Flip-A-Clip, I discovered an old animation project I was working on back when I was in high school. And, it's something, that's for sure. I somehow animated 1,151 frames for this animation, which is also a minute and 36 seconds of animation. So I went all out on this animated project. For context, I had an animation class in grade 12 where our teacher let us choose to make an animation for our final project. We could do whatever we wanted, and to my surprise, he never even marked these projects at the end, so I could have slacked off more than I already was in this class. Anyways, I decided to make an animation using Flip-A-Clip on my iPad Pro. Even though we were taught how to use the computers to animate, I was just stubborn about animating on my iPad, on Flip-A-Clip nonetheless. And in this video, I'm going to look back at this old animation I made in high school. Okay, first of all, this animation style I did was sorta inspired by Deadly comics. At the time, I thought their animations were really cool, and still do, and I wanted to make something similar to them. If you've seen their animations, then you'll see what I mean. That was something, that's for sure. For anyone who is confused, basically the dinosaur character wanted to find color in a colorless world, and for some reason I had to do that with ice cream flavors. In particular, he wanted to find a lemon ice cream flavor, and at the very end he does find that colored ice cream flavor by traveling up to a peak of the mountain that had color. And of course, when he eats the ice cream, he changes from having no color into being yellow. I don't know how I thought up this idea, but it's honestly kinda cool. I'm also unsure on if I thought up the idea because it was cool, or if I was just lazy and I didn't want to color half the animation, because it honestly could be that I was just lazy. But it was an interesting story idea nonetheless. In a way, I sort of see it as the dinosaur feeling the same to everyone else, and wanting to be different in his own unique way, which is why he's dedicated to leave the village and travel to a faraway mountain in search of color. I just don't think I executed the story in the right way, or even animated it in the best way, as I'll get into soon. Since there were a lot of issues or bad animation I noticed when rewatching this animation project, and I'd be silly to not share them, as some of them are pretty funny. If you're someone who is just getting into digital art or animation, then I'd love to tell you about the sponsor of today's video. The PARBLO INTANGBO X7 tablet is a drawing tablet that's very easy to use and set up. It's compatible with Windows, Chromebook, Android, and Mac devices, meaning if you have an Android phone you draw on, you could connect this tablet to your phone to draw off instead of using your finger, which is so cool. I tried it on my Windows computer and absolutely loved it. It was super easy to set up on my computer. All I did was set my tablet to the correct device on the Devices button, then download the necessary driver file you can find on their website. It was that easy to set up, and then I got right into drawing. I usually do drawing on my iPad Pro, so it was a bit of a learning curve, but it honestly didn't take me long to figure out how to draw off this tablet, and I had a lot of fun. The only thing I should mention is it is a screenless tablet, although the INTANGBO X7 is only $59.99 USD off Amazon, which if you don't know is a really good price for a drawing tablet. This tablet is very affordable for any beginner artists or animators, and I recommend it solely for that reason alone. When you're new to digital art, it can be scary to purchase drawing tablets that are costly, as you don't know how much you're going to like drawing digitally, so that's why the PARBLO INTANGBO X7 is the perfect tablet for any newbies getting into art or animation. First one isn't really an error, but it just looks weird. From what we can see, the dinosaur character is walking up to the ice cream booth, and then all of a sudden, in the next scene, his head darts up from below, as if he was ducked down and stood up, except he wasn't. He was walking, so it just looks odd. I wasn't exactly an expert on continuity in my animations at this time, but this is still funny. Second is the way the lemon on the paper moves as the dinosaur holds it up. It should be printed on the paper in a way where it doesn't move around, but it does. It moves up and down as if it's a physical object, and it just looks so bad. Third is how the animation zooms into the word vanilla. It sort of goes all over the place when zooming in, and it looks horrible. It could have been so easy to just zoom in normally. I don't know why I animated it like this. Maybe I did it on purpose, because if not, how did I allow this to happen? Okay, next is the walking animation up the mountain. Low-key, I sorta like it, although there's still some noticeable issues I need to point out. Firstly, the mountain the dinosaur is walking on doesn't even move as he walks up. It's a bit weird, but the moving clouds at least help a bit with this problem. Next, his back legs look weird, as they are in the front of the line on the mountain, whereas I feel they should be behind the line for the mountain. That or the mountain line should have been higher up. Either way, it's not the biggest deal, just some small stuff I noticed. Also, for some reason, the animation line art starts to get thicker by this point in time. I don't know why, as I usually was good about keeping my line art consistent, but it's pretty noticeable as you watch through the animation. Don't know what was going on here. Next is a pretty bad mistake, or maybe I was just so done with this project, because a lot of the issues start to arise at this point. Anyways, as the dinosaur is walking up to the ice cream lady, well, he doesn't even walk. He simply moves. But his legs stay completely still. This is so hilarious to me, but also very embarrassing. Why did I think this was okay? Up until now, even if the animation was slight, there was at least movement with the dinosaur's legs. But not here, and what makes matters even worse is he gains a second nose in one of the frames here. Clearly this part was a mistake, but I'm unsure if the walking was intentional or not, as again, I was just so done with this project at this point in time. Alright, next is the absolute laziness of these next two scenes. I do this very poorly done zoom in of the dinosaur holding its ice cream, as the background moves downwards really fast when the dinosaur slowly zooms in. Then we get a zoom in shot of this dinosaur that's line art looks very pixelated and big compared to the other scenes. Probably because I just copy-pasted the last scene and zoomed it in. I bet everything on the fact that's what I did for this scene. Then it sits on this shot for a good amount of time and destroys me with both pain and embarrassment as it looks so bad. Then we finally get to see the dinosaur eat the ice cream and... oh, okay. Well, that's one way to animate it, I guess. It literally just goes behind the dinosaur's nose or mouth or whatever that is. I clearly didn't know how to animate him eating the ice cream, and you know what? That's kinda fair. How would you animate a creature like this eating? Tell me your best guesses in the comments section, as I'm genuinely curious to hear them. Also, yet another animation error with his arm. When he finishes having a bite of the ice cream, he just drops it. This isn't an animation error, it's just dumb looking. Like, the ice cream just remains on the floor after this, and it's hilarious to me. I do like the transformation sequence. I think it's one of the more interesting animations out of everything in this project, although for some reason 2 frames on the dinosaur's tail animation are the exact same. All the other ones are frame by frame different drawings, so I don't know if this was a mistake or intentional, but yeah, it's something I noticed. The animation even has a bit of lag when you watch it play through this movement, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. And at the very end, we see our dinosaur character standing from afar, as he is now changed from being colorless into a yellow color, just like the ice cream he ate. And it just stays on this shot for a very long time until the animation ends. I actually had a lot of scenes like this in the animation, as you might have already noticed. Some of the scenes were definitely needed, as establishing shots, but a lot of them were just ridiculously long, and I was clearly trying to make this a longer animation in the process. Now, I can't be all negative towards this animation, so here's some things I do like about it. I like the more simplistic art style I gave these characters, with a lot of them having dots for eyes or simple line art. I think it works for the story and the animation. Having very detailed characters would take away from this story a bit. Plus, a lot of the characters were very unique, which helped distinguish characters from each other, with the addition of some of them being slightly weird or off-putting, which I do think fits the tone in this animation. I like the fact there's no talking in this animation. A lot of animation relies on having characters speak, but I honestly think this animation benefits from having no talking in it. It makes things even more mysterious and weird, which is definitely the tone in this animation. If I was going for something silly or more exciting, then it would probably make sense for the characters to speak, but in this case, I'm happy I didn't add any dialogue. It ends up helping the animation stand out more, although with this said, I could have added sound effects here and there, as it is literally just music playing through the whole time. And finally, some animation scenes I liked in particular. First was the very first scene of the dinosaur character running across the screen. I think even though the walk animation isn't perfect, I gave it personality. I could have just given a basic walk cycle, but I gave him this really unique walk, and it's so fitting and fun for his character. I also like that I did it just before the title card for the animation. It's a really nice first scene that goes into the title. Second was this establishing shot for all the different characters. Like I said before, they all look so unique, but the dinosaur character in particular stands out from the rest, which is good as he's the main character. Third, I like the scene where the dinosaur's looking up at the vanilla flavor of ice cream, only for the bird creature to just pass him the vanilla ice cream, as there's no other option in their colorless village. The dinosaur's reaction just looks really cute and silly, so I appreciate this scene for that. Next, I love his journey up to the mountain. Like, even though I criticized the walk animation, I still think it's a nice scene. I also like it when he crosses the colorless area to the colored area. It's a really cool up-close shot of him walking through it. And, of course, as I said before, the transformation scene of him becoming yellow is really nice too. And that's it for my thoughts on this old flip clip animation of mine. In the end of the day, even though I was very critical, I do like this animation. It's fun to look back on, even with all the animation errors or simply just bad animation. I hadn't went through animation school yet, so there was a lot I didn't know about animation. But even so, I did sorta cook with certain scenes. Sorta. Anyways, that's it for this video. Tell me if you have any old animated projects in the comment section. I'd love to hear about them. And, as always, please subscribe and like my video as it really helps my channel out a ton. It's been Leamon, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.